Greetings! Before I tell this story, I would ask you to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more stories like this. And now we begin our story.
Alara cherished the moment when she and Cedric celebrated 5 years of marriage. The memories of their wedding day, filled with laughter and promises, seemed as vivid as ever. The quaint garden where they exchanged vows felt like a sacred space, untouched by the trials that were quietly unfolding beneath the surface. Yet, amid the joy, a shadow of unease began to creep into Alara's heart, a subtle tremor she struggled to ignore. While tidying Cedric's study one afternoon, Alara stumbled upon a folder hidden within his desk drawer. Curiosity piqued, she opened it and found a series of letters and photographs that sent a chill through her spine. The letters were discreetly addressed to someone named Mylis, a woman whose name she had never heard before. As she read further, the painful realization struck her. Isolda, her mother-in-law, had been searching for Mylis as if she were a replacement for Alara herself. The discovery shattered the foundation of trust Alara had built in her marriage. How long had Isolda harbored such intentions? The thought tore at her soul, leaving her restless and confused. She needed to confide in someone who could offer clarity and strength. Her dearest friend Thalia was the first person she turned to. A voice of reason and unwavering support, Thalia listened patiently as Alara poured out her fears. Thalia's eyes reflected a blend of shock and sympathy. She reminded Alara that complex family dynamics were rarely straightforward. Isolda's actions speak of deeper turmoil, Thalia said softly. We must uncover what fuels this vendetta. I promise you will not face this alone. These words were a lifeline, fostering courage within Alara to confront the secrets lurking in her married life's shadows. Determined to gain perspective, Alara decided to observe Cedric's interactions closely. At work, she noticed the subtle camaraderie between him and his colleague Dorian. There was something almost conspiratorial in the way Dorian exchanged glances with Cedric whenever family tensions arose. A potential ally, perhaps? Alara wondered if Dorian knew the extent of Isolda's covert plans or could aid in bridging the fractured bonds. Just as Alara grappled with her turmoil, she received a cryptic message from Alaric, Cedric's younger brother. Alaric's tone was distant, yet tinged with concern. There are truths you have yet to hear. Not everything is as it seems with Isolda, he wrote. This mysterious warning sent Alara down a labyrinth of unanswered questions. Could Alaric break the silence that had long suffocated the family? The figure of Mylis deepened the intrigue. Who was this woman who seemingly posed a threat to Alara's place by Cedric's side? Alara's imagination painted her as both rival and victim of Isolda's secret agenda. The idea that someone unknown was woven into this domestic drama sparked a keen desire to uncover her story, her motives, and the tangled network of alliances surrounding her. Alara's nights became restless, haunted by whispered conversations that might have taken place behind closed doors. The garden where she once found solace now felt like a stage for unseen battles. Each sunset marked the passage of innocence lost, replaced by an urgent need to protect her marriage and identity. The fragile trust between herself and Cedric weighed heavily on her, threatening to erode beneath the weight of betrayal. During a heartfelt conversation with Thalia, Alara admitted the depth of her uncertainty. I don't know where Cedric stands in all this, she confessed. Is he aware of his mother's search? Does he approve or resist? I feel adrift without answers. Thalia's comforting embrace reminded her that strength could grow from vulnerability and that clarity would come with time and courage. Meanwhile, whispered rumors began to circulate within Cedric's social circle. It was said that Isolda had long disapproved of Alara, viewing her as an outsider unworthy of the family's legacy. The pressure exerted by such disdain had certainly shaped Cedric's behavior in subtle ways, creating fissures that Alara had yet to fully explore. Understanding the roots of Isolda's opposition seemed essential to healing the family rift. In a surprise visit, Alaric appeared at Alara's home under the pretense of reconciliation. His demeanor was calm and measured, contrasting sharply with Isolda's relentless hostility. We share more history than you realize, he said quietly, hinting at secrets that could shift the family's balance of power. His offer to mediate felt like a fragile promise, one Alara was cautiously willing to accept. Conversations with Cedric grew strained as Alara tried to broach the topic of Isolda's intentions. Cedric's guarded responses left her feeling isolated, yet determined not to succumb to despair. The love that had once blossomed between them was now tested by shadows neither could fully escape. Alara resolved to uncover the truth, not just for herself, but for the future they still hoped to build. As the household quietly hummed with unresolved tension, Milas's presence lingered like an unsolved puzzle. Each discovered fragment about her life and connection to Isolda added layers to the unfolding drama. Alara's empathy mingled with suspicion, recognizing that this story was not merely about rivalry, but about deeper wounds that demanded understanding. Through late-night talks with Thalia, Alara devised a cautious plan to confront Isolda directly, seeking answers face to face. The prospect terrified her, but also ignited a fierce determination. To survive the undercurrents threatening her marriage, Alara knew she had to shed light on the truths carefully guarded within the family's embrace. In the quiet moments before dawn, Alara reflected on the resilience that had carried her this far. Though the path ahead seemed shrouded in uncertainty, her spirit refused to bend. The years with Cedric had forged bonds that could withstand storms if only they were met with honesty and bravery. As the sun rose, Alara felt ready to challenge the darkness lurking beneath the family tree. This was the beginning of a journey that would reveal not only the fractures tearing at her marriage, but also the hidden strengths waiting to be awakened. The whispered secrets of the past demanded to be heard if healing was to be possible. Alara's heart beat with a mixture of fear and hope as she prepared to face the unknown, knowing that the next steps would alter everything they believed about family and love. Паутина интриг и неожиданные союзы. Alara sat by the window, the morning light casting soft shadows across the room, but her thoughts were far from peaceful. 5 years of marriage led to a shattering revelation. Her mother-in-law, Isolda, had been quietly searching for a replacement, someone who could step into Alara's place. The betrayal lingered in her mind, a thorny root that refused to be pulled out easily. How long had Isolda nurtured this secret ambition? And why? The questions multiplied and gnawed at her resolve to protect her family. Determined to uncover the truth behind Isolda's intentions, Alara decided to delve into the dynamics around her husband Cedric, especially his relationship with his colleague Dorian. Dorian was an enigma, reserved yet sharp. He commanded respect in the office, and perhaps he held clues that Alara needed. Could he be an ally or just another piece in Isolda's complicated game? Alara's mind raced with possibilities as she crafted a plan to observe their interactions closely, hoping to decode the subtle signals that might reveal hidden loyalties or secrets. Meanwhile, the appearance of Melis complicated matters further. She was an elusive figure, recently emerged from the shadows with a mysterious aura that unsettled Alara. Melis was not merely a casual acquaintance, but seemed to carry the promise of something deeper, maybe even a direct rival orchestrated by Isolda herself. Her presence fanned the flames of Alara's anxiety, intensifying the shadow of doubt that clouded her thoughts. Was Melis the replacement that Isolda sought? Or was she a decoy in an even larger scheme? Amidst the uncertainty, Alara found solace and strength in her friend Thalia, whose wise counsel softened the sharp edges of Alara's fears. Thalia encouraged her to keep perspective and to seek out allies she might not have considered. It was Thalia's suggestion that led Alara to reach out more openly to Cedric's brother, Alaric, whose calm demeanor and unspoken support could prove crucial. Alaric had always been somewhat detached from the family disputes, but held the potential to offer a balancing voice, perhaps to mediate or clarify misunderstandings before they festered. As Alara pieced these fragments together, the complexities of her world became clearer, yet more daunting. Isolda's manipulative tendencies and the underlying motives forcing her hand exposed a tangled web steeped in jealousy, control, and fear of losing influence. Yet, within this chaos, unexpected friendships began to form. Dorian, once a distant figure, revealed moments of kindness and insight that hinted at a possible alliance. Their conversations shifted from mere formalities to candor, opening a door of trust that Ilara cautiously stepped through. Melis remained a puzzle. Her cryptic remarks and sudden appearances drew Ilara into a game of vigilance. She noticed the way Melis seemed to understand the household dynamics with unnerving precision, almost as though she had been studying not just the family, but Ilara herself. The uncertainty of Melis's allegiance caused Ilara to sharpen her instincts, forcing her to balance suspicion with openness, seeking the truth behind every smile and whispered word. Despite the rising tension, moments with Cedric were like brief respites. Ilara could see the strain in his eyes, the conflict between loyalty to his family and love for her. Cedric was caught in a delicate balance, trying to navigate the unspoken battlefield without causing further fractures. Ilara's resolve to protect their marriage strengthened, with each shared glance, each silent promise to stand together amidst the storm. The household atmosphere grew thick with unvoiced accusations and guarded conversations. Isolde's subtle dominance threatened to unravel the carefully woven fabric of their lives, yet Ilara refused to be a passive participant. Her drive to confront the betrayal head-on gained momentum, fueled by the support of those around her, and a growing understanding of the intricate motivations at play. The search for truth became a journey through a labyrinth where every twist revealed new connections and challenges. Alaric's presence gradually became more prominent. His ability to disarm tense situations with light humor and a straightforward approach offered Ilara a new perspective. He questioned Isolde's intentions without direct confrontation, exposing cracks in her impeccable facade. This shift provided Ilara with a critical edge, letting her breathe a little easier knowing she was not alone in navigating these troubled waters. Threats turned into calculated moves, and alliances took shape where least expected. Ilara found herself relying on a network of support spanning beyond the obvious, weaving trust and skepticism with a delicate hand. The revelation of Isolde's secret quest for a replacement had unleashed more than just shock. It ignited a transformative battle for identity, love, and survival. As Ilara stepped deeper into this unfolding drama, she realized that the true power lay not in bloodlines, but in the bonds forged through courage and truth. The days that followed were a delicate dance between confrontation and concealment. Every interaction carried weight, every glance hinted at hidden agendas. Yet, despite the looming threat posed by Isolde and the enigmatic presence of Melis, Ilara embraced a newfound strength. The complexity of her relationships became a source of resilience rather than despair, as she learned to navigate the intricate human web with poise and strategy. With the support of Thalia's unwavering guidance, the cautious trust forming with Dorian, and the subtle influence of Alaric, Ilara prepared to face the next chapter of her journey. The revelations about Isolde were unsettling, but illuminated paths forward. The choices she would make next could reshape the family dynamics forever. Ilara's heart was steady as the fog of uncertainty began to lift, revealing a clearer vision of what was at stake and who truly stood by her side. As the tension reached a delicate peak, Ilara knew that the answers she sought lay just beyond the horizon. The interplay of loyalty, deception, and courage created a story far richer than mere rivalry. Moving forward, she would need to trust her instincts more than ever, balancing vulnerability with strength. The stage was set for transformations that could heal or break the fragile bonds holding her world together. In this turbulent dance of shadows and light, Ilara prepared to confront not only Isolde's schemes, but also the deeper truths about herself and the family she cherished. What began as a painful discovery had evolved into a call for empowerment and reconciliation. The next steps were uncertain, but Ilara felt ready to meet whatever awaited with determination and grace, knowing that in the heart of the storm, unexpected alliances might be the key to salvation. Разоблачение и путь к примирению. The moment, Ilara uncovered the truth about her mother-in-law Isolde, seeking a replacement for her after 5 years of marriage was shattering. Her heart pounded with betrayal as she recalled every conversation and gesture that now seemed laced with hidden meaning. The revelation came unexpectedly when she stumbled across a series of carefully concealed messages between Isolde and Melis, the enigmatic woman intent on stepping into Alara's place. It was a calculated plan, woven with cold precision, and it left Alara reeling, questioning the foundation of her family. Despite the turmoil, Alara found herself turning to her steadfast ally Thalia, whose unwavering support offered a sliver of hope amid the darkness. Night after night they talked through the betrayal, piecing together the motivation behind Isolde's actions. Was it jealousy? Fear that her son Cedric would grow distant? Or something deeper rooted in years of unspoken resentment? Thalia's counsel encouraged Alara to confront the situation with clarity rather than anger, planting the seeds for an emotional reckoning that was both inevitable and necessary. Cedric remained a man caught between two fires, torn by loyalty to his mother and devotion to his wife. When confronted, his face hardened with pain and disbelief, shock mingling with a desperate need to protect Alara. Yet the truth forced him to look at his mother's manipulations with fresh eyes. The involvement of Dorian, Cedric's colleague and cautious confidant, complicated matters further. Dorian, once thought to be a neutral bystander, revealed subtle insights about Melis, suggesting that her ambitions went beyond mere replacement and into schemes that could jeopardize Cedric's career and personal life. Amid this storm stepped Alaric, Cedric's older brother, who carried a reputation for calm wisdom and a knack for diffusing tension. He approached the family conflicted but determined to heal divisions. Understanding the stakes, Alaric carefully initiated conversations that bled through the walls of silence. His open questions and gentle challenges to both Isolde and Cedric brought cracks to the hardened veneer of resentment. The family's defensive walls started to crumble, opening a path toward mutual acknowledgement of pain and misunderstanding. Isolde's facade finally cracked during a long, tense evening when Alara demanded truth and clarity. Underneath Isolde's cold exterior was a woman gripped by fear of being replaced in her son's life, fear of aging alone, and fear that her cherished role as matriarch was slipping away. Her carefully orchestrated search for Melis was not merely calculated cruelty, but a misguided attempt at safeguarding her family's future, as she saw it. This raw vulnerability allowed Alara to glimpse a side of Isolde previously concealed, fostering the faintest ember of empathy amid the anger. With this revelation, the dynamic shifted subtly but irreversibly. Alara remembered the countless sacrifices she had made to nurture her marriage, and suddenly, those efforts seemed more vital than ever. Her conversations with Thalia deepened, revealing the strength in forgiveness and the power that compassion wielded to mend fractured bonds. Armed with renewed resolve, Alara chose not vengeance but reconciliation, for herself, for Cedric, and for the fragile family on the precipice of collapse. Cedric, too, embarked on his journey of reflection, recognizing the damage caused by unquestioned loyalty to his mother. The patient understanding offered by Dorian acted as a mirror, revealing Cedric's own fears and insecurities that had allowed his mother's interference. Cedric's conversations with Alaric were candid and raw, catalyzing his growth into a more assertive husband, willing to defend his marriage fiercely, yet tenderly. Together, the brothers envisioned a future where familial love was a source of strength rather than strife. Melis, once a shadowy figure shrouded in mystery, was finally confronted directly. Her motives, layered with ambition and perhaps desperation, were exposed under Alara's unwavering gaze. The confrontation was neither hostile nor vindictive, but marked by a measured assertion of boundaries and self-worth. Melis's retreat signaled not just an end to her pursuit, but a reclaiming of agency by Alara. This moment underscored the fragile balance between trust and doubt within relationships tested by external challenges. As tensions eased, the family's interactions grew more genuine, though cautious. Alara and Isolde, while not fully reconciled, managed to engage with tentative respect, beginning to rebuild bridges one conversation at a time. Cedric remained a devoted husband, actively bridging the gap between his wife and mother. Alaric's role evolved into that of mediator and supporter, reminding everyone that healing is a collective journey. The air in the household shifted from one of suspicion and rivalry to cautious optimism and a willingness to listen. The emotional landscape of this chapter in Alara's life reveals the intricate dance between love, betrayal, and forgiveness. It paints a vivid portrait of how relationships can be both fragile and resilient, shaped by intention and circumstance alike. Alara's choice to embrace empathy over resentment did not erase the hurt, but transformed it into a foundation for renewed intimacy and trust. The family, once fractured by secrets and unspoken fears, began to find strength in unity rather than division. Taking these challenges head-on, Alara learned that vulnerability is not a weakness but a catalyst for growth. Supported by friends like Thalia and understanding allies such as Dorian and Alaric, she navigated the complex terrain of familial expectations and personal boundaries. Her marriage to Cedric, once threatened by external manipulation, emerged stronger, fortified by honesty and mutual commitment. The path forward was far from smooth, but now illuminated by a clearer purpose, preserving love against all odds. The journey through this emotional upheaval serves as a testament to the power of communication and courage in overcoming deep wounds. Alara's story reminds us that even the most painful revelations can lead to profound healing when met with compassion and resolve. As the chapter draws to a close, she stands poised at a crossroads, ready to face what comes next with a heart that has learned to trust again, a marriage renewed, and a family slowly knitting itself back together. This newfound harmony lays the groundwork for future trials and triumphs, as Alara braces herself to protect her love and the fragile peace she has fought so hard to achieve. Quietly, the stage is set for what lies ahead, a continuation of growth, understanding, and the unbreakable bonds that define true family,